beautiful people. Welcome to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. We have our co-host James from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel. Link is in the description to his channel. Hi, James.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. Subscribe to the channel.
We hope that you do subscribe. We also hope you guys like the video. I am hot, so if my AC in the background gets loud, just at any point somebody tell me and I'll turn it off. But we're here to go over Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. This episode is titled Beach Don't Kill My Vibe. This has been a terrible season. You could tell that they're just forcing these people to film constantly. I definitely think it's time for them to play with the cast. But we open up this episode with Ashley, Zane's wife, explaining once again her meetup with Carly. Now, they basically were explaining how when Carly and T-Lo met with, Ashley and Zane, and things didn't go right. Zane ended up telling T-Lo to check his bitch. The girl did try to apologize, but honestly, in this situation, I'm kind of siding with Carly. Don't bring something up in front of my husband. It's one thing to bring it up while I'm already moved on, but you're going to bring this up in front of my husband while he is here. That's disrespectful, in my personal opinion. It's disrespectful. So, long story short, Ashley shows zero accountability. She says that she tried to apologize. She couldn't get it out the way. I'm going to tell y'all this. Don't think Carly needs to even deal with them. Ashley and Zane just seem like drama, so I don't blame her for not accepting the apology, but don't keep the drama going, if that makes sense. And then at the end of this little scene, Bambi compares Carly and T-Lo's relationship to Trump and Melania. I say, you know what? Now I can't unsee it. I can't. Because that lady don't want him, but she gonna stay. But how'd you feel about that first little scene, James?
Who's Trump and who's Melania is what I was. Because, if we're saying Carly is Melania, no, it's the other way around for me.
Yeah, Melania behaves. She plagiarizes in silence with the help of Trump-approved people. But, and
here's what I'm going to say about Ashley in this whole situation. I wouldn't have accepted the apology either because it's stupid. This whole situation should have never been brought up in the first place. That's what I'm going to say. Because it didn't get anywhere. It didn't resolve anything. He still does what he does, and you still don't give a fuck.
I definitely agree with that. It also seems like Ash and Zane are kind of looking for a way to be relevant on this show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm tired of it. They're not that interesting. And the sound of Ashley's voice make my teeth itch. I can't let it go.
It's this high pitch, she want to be a Barbie kind of. It's like, girl, I can't with her. I just can't, y'all. And I'm not trying to be mean because I could sympathize a little bit, dealing with a man who has short man syndrome. And I get the shit is difficult. I get it. But at the end of the day, you look more foolish by accepting what he does and confronting other women on his behalf versus confronting the little man and his syndrome and his behavior.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole problem here. I don't care about this whole situation. You're making yourself look stupid on national TV because what's the point?
Pretty much. And it's not, to me, it's not worth it. I'm over Ashley and Zane. I kind of said it seemed like he was looking forward to being Stevie J of this era. It's not giving. Even Stevie J had to at one point learn, and then he reverted. But still, at least he understood it. But moving forward, Yandy pulls Rashida aside to talk privately. We know that the two had a big blow up. Yandy's upset basically because Kirk's baby mama is bringing Mendices and her into the drama. Rashida feels like they're not that close anyway, and seems to take on the attitude of there's a lot more that she knows and can say when it comes to how she talked in the confessional. So, Rashida in her whack braids while sitting down instantly had an attitude. I don't know why she keep putting them braids in her hair. They're not cute on her. That's just my opinion. But she had an attitude from the jump. And honestly, Rashida, Yandy has done nothing to you. Usually Yandy be on some bull when it be to Love and Hip Hop and she have issues with other people. But this is a situation where Yandy ain't done nothing to you. This woman is on camera because of your husband. That's what makes her relevant enough to be here. So I get where Yandy's coming from. However, Yandy needs to hold Mendeecees accountable. And honestly, Yandy, once somebody tell you they're not that close, believe what they say. Now, Yandy did moves after Rashida explains herself, claiming that they wasn't that close and she felt like she didn't need to speak anything to existence. Now Yandy is saying that Mendeecees has never been to Jasmine's bar, which we all know is a lie because he's admitted to it previously. So has Yandy. And Rashida instantly, this is where I'm on Rashida's side. Rashida's like, Yandy, really? You know that man done been at that bar. And she's like, well, who's telling you? I think, yes, it's Jasmine that's telling Kirk, but I can't see Kirk just talking to Jasmine like that and Rashida being cool with it. I feel like another piece of it is Kirk is probably at that bar still, and Rashida's probably okay with it. So he probably seen Mendeecees himself there. Or Atlanta's small as hell. Many other people have likely seen him. But for Yandy to try and lie is crazy. Now, Rashida's also talking about there may or may not be an alleged video that she has seen of Mendeecees. She didn't say this in the conversation. She said it to the confessional. But they do end up making peace. But my piece is pretty simple. Yandy, that's not your friend. Rashida is nobody's friend. She's not even her own friend. She don't even respect herself. So how is she going to be able to give it to you? But at the same time, Yandy, you know Mendeecees is playing around. He was playing around when he got with you. You and another woman was pregnant at the same time and do at the same time. That means he might have left your house and went to hers and both you heifers got pregnant. So Rashida's foul as a friend, but yeah, do you know that man be outside? James, how'd you feel about it?
I don't know what's more embarrassing, having a woman just completely flat out just continue to lie about her husband's actions only to make the suspicion worse, or the other woman whose husband continuously plays in her face and on national TV telling the other woman that her husband be outside. I don't know which is worse. Just saying. That's all I could think about when I look at this scene.
It's like both of their situations is messed up, and
It's
y'all really
messed up.
should
So
be.
it's like, what are y'all mad at? Y'all both in some old fucked up toxic ass relationships. So what are y'all mad at? And Yandy, I get you lie. I get it. You fade your 2.0. I totally get it. But when you lie about shit, at least make it sound believable. At least make me question it at least once. Like at least make me go, yeah, I could believe that. I could believe. Yeah. That makes sense, Yandy. The moment Yandy opened her mouth, I'm just like this. Because you're going to continue to protect this man and the bullshit that he does instead of just saying, you know what, look, he probably ain't shit. Oh, well, he free to do what he want. Best believe I do what I want. I'd rather y'all just say y'all marriage is open at this point.
Yeah, because it's clear that they're not together. Quay, welcome in. Happy hump day, girl. Go hump something. You are not late. We're like just barely getting started.
We barely getting started. You right on time.
You are on time. Welcome to everybody who is in here. I appreciate everybody for being here. I'm slowly getting my voice back. I can breathe and talk at the same time. God is good. Moving on along, you guys, because they make people. We know these heifers ain't gonna be friends no more in real life. You can't come back from that. Scrappy, his hat, Mama D, and Erica all meet up. Mama D just loved Erica. You could tell Mama D probably regrets giving hell to Erica when she was with Scrappy back in the day, because now they just seem to get along. But they all meet up, and he is telling his mama and them, not much happened in the scene, but he does end up showing them a picture of the baby and explaining that Shakira, the baby mama from the threesome, is mad that Mama D is mentioning a paternity test. Nothing happened in the scene. I would just like to make it very clear going forward as we talk about and through this episode of these people. Girl, don't nobody feel bad for you. Don't nobody feel bad for you. Of course, people are going to ask for you to have a paternity test when you got your baby while sharing this man's eggplant emoji with your friend. That's all sorts of trifling. You would think that, especially since it's a friend, that y'all would think to use some condoms or take Plan Bs together the next morning over smoothies. Hell, I don't know. So don't look at us or Mama D. This is the one time I got to defend Mama D. The way this baby got here, girl. Of course, we question the paternity. So that's all I really have to add with the scene. I don't know why Erica's involved in it all. Imani is grown. So really, her and Scrappy don't have business together unless they attend graduations and maybe birthdays. So I don't know. James, you have anything to add?
No, I don't, because this scene was like the rest of this. It was stupid. Why is Erica here?
Right.
Why is she here? What does she have that is so valuable to this situation? She's not with Scrappy anymore. She got her own shit to worry about. I could see if her and Scrappy were together and he had this up-oh baby, and then they're trying to figure out a way to work it out. I could see if it was that situation, then yeah, it makes total sense for her to be here. But for her to be here and then get all of this business as if Scrappy wants her to have all this business because he's not here. So it's like, what are we doing? Why are we giving her all this information?
It don't make no sense. Erica, if you want to be back on the show, be back on the show. You were an OG cast member, but be back on the show and talk about something other than Scrap. Let me catch the comments. Quay said, not feeling bad at all. Threesome baby child. Right. What you expect? Of course, paternity going to be tested. Why did they show the resolve of them not dating anymore?
Because we don't believe it.
Thank you, James.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it was dating. If there was any type of contact, I just believe it was physical. That was it. I don't believe nothing more, nothing less.
I believe that. They probably felt like each other was safe and spun the block real quick. But I never thought them two would get back together. In the van back in Mexico, y'all, everybody's talking, and they're talking about the situation again some more that happened with Zane, Ashley, Tilo, and Carly. And when Zane tells his side of the story, and he's like, I didn't even mean it like that when I called her a bitch. And the other men on the van, all of them had to explain like, whoa, that ain't cool. Even Sierra's man, who don't never say more than 4 words, and you could tell that he was in the remedial versions of the classes in high school. He was like, oh no, I take offense to that. I wish somebody would tell Mr. Best to check his bitch. Actually, somebody has done that once and it did not end well. I had to pick him up in the county jail. So I'm trying to tell y'all, you can't disrespect women like that, separate from it being that man's wife. The fact that Zane is so comfortable to call a woman out her name just shows me a little glimpse of what Ashley deals with. And that's why I don't feel sorry for her. I don't. That's all I have to say on that. James, you got anything to add?
That's why I said the little short man syndrome. Because that is all I saw this entire episode. I was like, oh, okay. You have short man syndrome. And you think that you calling these women out their name and stuff is overcompensating because someone has probably teased the hell out of you your entire life. So you need to get help, sir, because that was very distasteful. Just saying. And I agree. Ain't nobody finna be calling my husband nothing in front of me. And then I know my husband ain't got no chill, so
I'm fighting with y'all.
Yep.
Throw me in it. I like this one. I like him a lot. Anywho, let me catch the comments. Shandy, you're not late. We just started not too long ago. Y'all ain't late. Not much happened in this episode. I'm excited to get to Beverly Hills and the Valley. So I'm shipping it on through this. But please comment if y'all feel like I missed something or something you saw that you want us to talk about. Bring it up in the comments. We would love to make the conversation more interesting because Lord knows the episode was not. She said Napoleon syndrome. Shandy said, when and where? I'm the fight too. Listen, until Gio, he got back up by the numbers across the globe. You guys, we're going to move it along. So Shakira, aka baby mama from the threesome, she is looking at houses with Scrappy, and the house that they were looking at was beautiful. I actually see James living somewhere like that. I don't know why. I see you in luxury. But
I'm always in luxury. Yes, absolutely. It just ain't got to me yet. That's all.
Right. It's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming.
That's all. Yeah.
Now, I was cracking up because she's looking at houses and I'm like, okay, sis, so this is the chick who was like, even though I'm having a baby with Scrappy, and it was a little fun night. She made it very clear when we first met her that she was successful in her own right and had her businesses. But when it comes to looking at this house, I got different energy. So I'm thinking maybe, okay, she gonna prove to us she don't need the band for the money and the baby for the money. She's got her own money, as she said. Scrappy said, I don't know who my baby mama think is paying for this house, but it ain't me. Listen, Scrappy barely got his own house, Shakira. I don't know if you remember watching him seasons and seasons ago. Erica tried for child support, struggled for many years to get payment from him. He couldn't keep up with it when they were together. He wasn't the biggest on bills. Then he got with Bambi, and we heard basically the same complaints again. Not good on bills. She was paying the bills alone while he was in the house. And then he ended up single because these women didn't want to deal with that. And that's where his auntie, because even his mama could not get through, had to help him fix his credit so that he could understand the house. He said, I ain't gonna understand credit score was. You feel me? No, we don't feel you, Scrappy. We don't feel you. So I'm looking at Shakira. I'm looking at Scrap like, of course, you ain't shit. You want her near you so you could be near your child, which I respect, but you ain't got this kind of money. Scrappy has that apartment that Jasmine was in that Rashida thought was an office kind of money. He doesn't have this kind of money. And they end up talking. He brings up the paternity test again, and she instantly brings up his mom and what she said on the podcast about wanting a paternity test. But when he brings up Mama D, she refers to her as the Dora the Explorer wig wearing mama. Leave Mama D's wigs alone. Like, you're really mad about some shit that you did to yourself. Whether Mama D said it or not, the internet was already saying he better get a paternity test. We already don't really look at you with much respect. All we know is that you have threesomes with your friend with no protection. And she chose to showcase that first about herself. So you cannot get mad at what you received. And why aren't you getting this paternity test? Because you could have got it pregnant and you're still not getting it now. And so then she tries to, I'm sorry, she tries to give us a sob story about her mama dying. Now, I felt for her because you could tell that she's in a lot of pain. She's probably also going through postpartum. However, your mama was dying and you was hopping in the bed having threesomes at the same time. So you cannot thoroughly use that as an excuse. Prior to your mother's passing, you were willing to enter this situation with him, knowing that was nothing more than somebody he slept with, and you seem to be okay with just being someone he sleep with and party with. Now you want to throw your mom dying in the way. And I get that postpartum's a real thing. I get that grief is a real thing, but I feel like this girl is leaning and blaming things on that when it's like, okay, that can be a part of what you're going through, but you also need to acknowledge the fact that the way you got your baby and the way your child was conceived was not with much thought. You didn't go into the threesome saying you wanted to get pregnant. So that's my whole thing. But she rubs on Scrappy's foot and the sock was dirty, the bottom of it. How you felt about it, James? And then I'll get to the comments.
Here's my thing. There's something missing from this equation. There's something missing from this equation that makes me question their origin story. Because seeing this, seeing her behavior, seeing her actions, it makes me believe that I question the origin story. Because it sounds now crazy after watching this scene. And I know we want to say, oh, well, it could be true. She could have had the threesome. She didn't deny it. She said her friend. I don't know if I believe it now. And based on this scene, this is what's making me question it.
I mean, it's clear that they might have more history because where's the friend? What happened with that?
It's not even more so where's the friend. It's more so when you kind of rethink it and then based on her action, because remember, this was only a hookup situation. Like, this is only a hookup situation where the baby was an uh-oh, according to him, according to the friend, and according to her. But when we look at the dynamic now, in today's time, because now there's now a baby involved and everything like that. It just seems like there's something to that story that doesn't seem right to me now.
I mean, from what I remember, around the time the rumors started, she and her friend were both on a show on Now That's TV. Scrappy had a little dating show, so they were both on that. But that don't help her either. That's no better neither.
Well, there's a difference between thirsty for TV and then going out with this, with your friend, hooking up with this reality TV star / rapper, getting pregnant, and then triumphing yourself on another show. So it's either she is playing up the role and trying to get on this show full time, or the origin story is complete bullshit. It's one of the two, and I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt to say that she's not thirsty for TV and that the story is just bullshit. Because something does not seem right about this. Because he completely discarded her as if she was nothing. Now all of a sudden we're trying to almost play house here. There's something missing.
It definitely
go from that in here.
There definitely is, because I didn't expect for her to move or any of that, and now it's like they're skipping steps. But girl, your baby daddy is Scrappy. Stop thinking that you're gonna be able to get much money and much objects out of him, girl.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's something about this that isn't quite clicking for me. And she's at Elizabeth like, "Hi, stay winning. I need to see you in here."
All right, I'm gonna go over the comments now. Let me see. Shani said, "I wonder if the new baby mama was going through postpartum syndrome with the way she was acting with Mama D. Not an excuse. If you're gonna go through it, not an excuse. So you put yourself here, sis." Clay said, "Yes, that sock was dirty." Lord, it was the bottom of it. I said, "Isn't that something? You got name brand socks and you can't clean them right." He dirty, not just the socks. Welcome in, a bitch stay with it. She said, "I'm late. I just want to say Bambi got body." Bambi has a great body. Bambi has a great body. If she would have marketed herself right, instead of being in hot tubs and a groupie for all those years prior, she really could have gotten the modeling. She has a great body. Her face ain't none makeup can't fix, but her, her body is great. Bambi's been looking good. I've actually enjoyed her this season. I have no complaints. A bitch say when it says she's definitely a fan. She is a beautiful daughter that looks just like her. She's so pretty to me, and the baby is gorgeous. They're pretty, but nobody's even paying attention to that because of how the baby got here. That's why you got to be careful how you move and how you come up and what you do to get noticed, because we're unfortunately not ever going to see the success in what comes with her. I was surprised to even learn she had a 16-year-old. I was like, oh, okay. All right.
That makes it even more embarrassing.
It does, because her child is old enough to understand social media. And that's the age. A lot of people watching this show at that age. She said, "Girl, take your ass back to Brooklyn." I think she's from the Bronx. They don't play about that. Let me see. I think she's trying to get on the show. That way he won't have to pay as much child support. I mean, it still is dumb to get pregnant by a man that has been seen publicly, not once, but twice, trying to get out of paying bills, child support. Like, Scrappy's the kind of dad who will spend the time with his kids. He will pick his kids up, but he ain't gonna pay. He'll do whatever he got to do with them kids, but trust and believe, mama got to send over fruit snacks. She got to send over some sandwiches made in the bags. She got to send over the milk. She got to send over diapers, extra clothes. I don't think Scrappy is doing much. It's nice that he spends time with his kids, but it's not fair for one person to have to be financial and physical, and he's just when he feel like it, if that makes sense. But yeah, well, she gonna act a fool later on in the episode. Now the group is back in Mexico and they're on a boat, and Yandy and Mendices gave a speech that irritated my spirit. I was like, why are these people up here giving a speech? Why are y'all having a couples trip? Yandy, why have your wigs been so just off? Hairline close to your eyebrows. I'm lost on what's happening. I'm sick of the speeches. This trip was a dud, and they tried to make it seem like something good happened, and it didn't. Quay says, she said he still ain't gonna pay. Scrappy is not gonna pay. He's not. A bitch say when it said I wasn't mad at how she talked to Mama D. She is an old witch, can't stand her. We haven't got there yet. But it was a little extra. If somebody's coming at you in peace, then return peace with peace. As the young people say, everybody matching energy now. Match it. We'll get there though. Mama D does meet the grandson. That's actually the next scene we'll talk about. And while she's meeting her grandson and explaining the importance of it, she takes it upon us to explain that Scrappy's head has always been big and she needed 15 stitches after pushing him out. And that's why she gets so mad when he talks back. And that's why she's in his business so much. I said, wait a second. This is something.
This is not normal behavior. This is not a normal stance that you make. This is, what are we doing? Why are we talking?
How did we get here?
How did we get here? I'm so confused. Like I had to rewind that because I felt like I missed something.
DM rocks. Let me catch it. Shandy, I didn't like that comment either. I agree with that. That was the one thing she did that was wrong. But I think her and Mama D will work it out. DM rocks. Welcome in. Happy hump day to you, my darling. Says, hey, off topic. Did you hear the rumor about Meredith? She got suspended for calling Brittany an anti-Semitic. Oh, and a P-file.
Is there an article about that, DM rocks?
Please James is don't want it.
Please send it to me. DM me on Instagram if there's an article about it, because I have not heard that.
He has not heard it. I'll put James's Instagram in the chat.
Please
so
do.
That you can DM him. I guess I'll put my own as well, just in case anybody.
Yeah, if you guys want to send to Mrs. Best or myself, yes, please do, because I would love to read about it. Y'all know I don't like Meredith, so I will do an unpopular opinion.
James said, I'm ready. I am ready. But the Mama D is crazy. So Shakira pulls out a muzzle and says Mama D needs to put it over her mouth because Mama D asked about the paternity test. And Mama D don't feel like she did nothing wrong by saying it on the live because she says she had already spoke about it with Shakira. Shakira, I do get where she's coming from. She's like, listen, I'll give you the paternity test, but don't talk about that publicly because she's got enough public hate. However, Shakira, you cannot expect them to side with you like somebody that has known him. You weren't in a relationship with this man. Y'all getting to know each other and raising a kid. So you got to relax. You got to relax. You just do. But Shakira gets upset and says that the DNA test is unnecessary, which the DNA test was necessary. The baby did look like Scrappy, but Shakira has to expect this. Now, she mentions having a 16-year-old daughter who has to see her mama getting teased. Girl, ain't nobody told you to go out and do that. Nobody told you to do that. So if your daughter getting teased, that's your fault.
Exactly.
What are we gonna do
that
about
pissed me off when she said that. Because
nobody's teasing your daughter.
Nobody told you to publicly humiliate yourself. Nobody told you for you and your little girlfriend to go over there and jump all over his bed and then end up pregnant. No one told you to do any of this. You are a grown woman that should have thought about your child before you did this. But the fact that you didn't, and now you want to sit up here and punish the world because everyone's clowning you because the shit is stupid at the end of the day. Nobody is jumping around saying, oh, let me get pregnant by little Scrappy over there in Atlanta. Nobody is saying that on a day-to-day basis. At least I would hope you ladies are not saying that. So come on. I'm not going to go here with you talking about you know, people teasing about it. It's unfortunate. It is. It is extremely unfortunate. But at the end of the day, this is what you signed up for. This is what you wanted. And you didn't care about your daughter to not protect her feelings and protect her image and protect yourself as well.
And then you going to go and buy the Petco brand of muzzle. You couldn't even get the name brand of it. So if you are going to get the prop, make sure the prop is right. Honestly, it looks like this girl watched this show prior and wanted to have a moment because you want in real life your grandchild, especially when she exposes that her mother passed away. This is your child's only grandparent in terms of grandmother. So you would think that you would want things to go well and would act right. But instead, the girl disrespects Mama D. Scrappy ends up leaving because he don't like how she disrespected his mama, which I don't blame him for. She runs out after him, but I was cracking up. Mama D said the girl done left the baby in my arms. She's supposed to be mad at me. Just left the baby to run after my son. I said, you know what? That was a little strange because if y'all got the energy of not being in a relationship, you just had a baby that's supposed to be your homie. You yourself, Shakira, made it seem like you're not tripping on him. Now you running out after him emotional and in tears. Like, which one is it, good sis? So I definitely think she got a little bit of postpartum. She does. However, mixed in with that postpartum, this girl is grieving. She is grieving. She is grieving worse than I've seen anybody grieve on the show. But she put herself in the situation. Now, Mama D did come and she was actually very sweet. She said, "Why you hurt, baby? Why you hurt, baby?" And she broke down and started crying to Mama D about her son and what they did to her. I said, "Girl, look at you. You handed a woman a muzzle, but then you end up crying to her and having a moment, and she's the one to help you out of the moment. Like, stop." And it's odd because she's saying her mom passed, and so she looked at Mama D like another mother figure. Mama D someday is gonna pass, and you look at someone like a mother figure when you know they're the mother of someone you're dating. You're not dating this man; you just have a baby with him. And so I feel for Shakira, but at the same time, it's like you put yourself in this shit, so you got to put your big girl panties on to deal with it. Shani said, "Please come back and do a live about Meredith. That baby looked like Scrappy with black lips." Annie, you want time out? But Miss Staywood has said Mama D did try to have a real moment with her behind closed doors. Yes, I think it could have been a little postpartum, but she needs to look to her own family for support. I think that's something she's going to struggle with, and a lot of people in grief struggle with. Sometimes you can't look to family for support. She doesn't have family left, it sounds like, to look to for support. I get that. My brother-in-law just passed, so I get that, and the family's not the most like supportive with it. But sometimes it's up to you to do the work that you need to do to heal, and you can't look to family or other people to help you through it. She probably needs a lot of therapy, honestly, because she's clearly hurting. But this is not the family to look to for support. Call a cousin, girl. Mama D ain't no real grandparent. The fuck? Even how she treats the oldest grandchild, she definitely doesn't like the other three from Bambi. Oh, that's a loaded statement. She seems to have a good relationship with her grandkids when she's able to see them. Mm-hmm. But I don't think she's a good grandparent for making all the problems she has with the moms. But I don't think we can really fully judge it because we don't see this lady on the show. And then she coming out getting honorary awards for her philanthropy throughout Atlanta. So I feel like the Mama D we see on the show is actually a character to an extent that she plays into.
I was going to say, this is
I don't think she's that way in real life.
Yeah, I don't believe that either. I think she is just animated for cameras because she knows that's what the people want.
Yeah, Mama D ain't stupid. Shani said that baby with the lips.
I can't unsee it. I'm so mad at you, Shani. I can't believe you just did this on this YouTube streets. We ain't gonna never live that down.
Oh, good goodness. Shani is a fool. I love it. I love it.
We ain't never gonna live this down. I promise you. They finna come get you, Mrs. Best.
I didn't say it. Listen. Now we're gonna move back to Mexico and the foolery happening there. The group has they have a dinner on the beach, and Tilo comes out without Carly Red for some reason. That's how you know the relationship ain't all of that, because if I'm on vacation with somewhere, group trip or not, my man gonna wait for me and we gonna be late together. Okay, he ain't gonna show up and eat without me. I'm looking at you weirdly, Tilo. But I also don't think Tilo really like women like that. But that's my opinion. He comes out. Ashley apologizes to Tilo for what she did to Carly. And then Zayn apologizes because he is not a man. And it seems like he can't lead his household. He telling other people to check his bitch, their bitches, and his bitch won't even let him come back into the house for a long time. So I'm looking like, okay, y'all are funny and manipulative. You're going to apologize to Tilo because you know he'll take it. But y'all didn't wait for Carly to get there and apologize. So Carly comes in and she quietly and politely refused to accept the apology and says that it can be handled when they're back in Atlanta. I said, what kind of foolery? Let me catch the comment before I move forward there. Bitch, they would have said, I'm speaking from a grandparent point of view. I would never trash my grandkid's mom. I think she is still in her Pimp 304 days. I don't trust her and I'm not a fan. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, like we said, that's not good to do as a grandparent. You can't talk
It's
about the
not, but a
parent.
lot of them do it. A lot of, you know, a lot of women, grandmothers do this. It's not all of them, but a lot of them do this where you have some that don't respect the mother a lot of the times and take it out on grandchildren. You have some that make it hard because a lot of them have an attachment to their son that they just can't let go of, hence this behavior here. And then you have some that are just, you know, just unbelievable because that's just in their nature to be like that because they're probably unhappy in their own situation. So it's I see more common Mama D grandmothers than I do a bitch they winning kind of grandmothers.
That's actually true, especially in the Black community. It's something
Yes.
that's not talked about enough, but it's very true.
Hmm.
But Mama D be acting a fool. She ain't gonna stop now. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. She said the baby looks gorgeous with the lips. Cute baby. Cute baby. I didn't even notice the lips. I was just like, oh, okay. I was making sure the motherfucker looked like Scrappy, honestly. I said, okay. Hip the eye, the wideness of the head, all of it makes sense. I would just say a few bad apples spoil the bunch. Oh no, you gotta look up statistics, my darling. There's more than a few bad apples. But a lot of that stuff is like generational and stuff that just us as a people have to work through.
Yeah.
It will take time,
Hmm.
generations to fix what generations have done. Shani said, I'm waiting to be a grandma and spoil somebody. My son taking too long. I just told him, can he make sure it's a girl so I can buy some pink shit?
Shame. Girl, get up off of this. Lord Jesus, get up off of this. And be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for, because you might just get it. I'm telling you. I don't know if my mom is ready, but I know my stepmom is definitely ready to be a grandma. And I'm like,
I think my
girl,
mother-in-law is ready to be a grandparent. I think my dad has been ready to be a grandparent. And I
I'm
just
ready. It's just I would
don't
love
know.
to be financially ready. Mentally, I'm ready, but financially, I am not. So until I get financially ready, then that's when I'll start having children.
Mm. Let me see. Quay says I'm a grandma and I badmouth my grandson's or my grandkids' mom. But then again, my son has full custody. I love my babies. Oh, good for your
Okay,
son.
well,
Shout
then
out to all the single
I mean,
dads.
yeah, I mean, hey, I commend that, and maybe there is good reason some of the time. I don't know. A lot of the
There
time,
likely is because women don't just be losing
mhm,
like that. She said, I don't know anyone like this. It also depends on the environment you put yourself around.
from Oakland, come to Phoenix.
Yeah, I think also in certain parts of just the country in general, family is valued more. Like if you go to the South or the Midwest and then you come to the West Coast or the East Coast, family is not valued as much.
Well, it's valued in a different
It's
instance.
way different.
Yeah,
Like,
it's valued in a different instance where it's in nature to be in one in the south in the southern parts of the states, where in the West Coast we kick off parents, grandparents, aunties, uncles, sisters, brothers, and not have to have those type of relationships where we value them as an importance
and
as
it's a
almost,
thing. A
and
lot
it
of
is a
people
thing, it
feel
really
the
is.
same way that is of a bitch stay winning, because if that's what you've seen and that's where you're at, but that's where you get into things like environmental psychology, like the
Yes.
environment of where you go up, as well as culture. It really does make a difference in things like upbringing, being a grandparent, being a parent. It's different everywhere that people go. But as time goes on, it's the norm is starting to become where people
Well,
aren't as into the idea of family. People
it's
are
starting to
having.
get, I think it embraces boundaries. I
Mhm.
think it embrace it, like in the whole type of like I'm my own person. I'm because a lot of the times parents don't see their children as adults; they see the child that they raise. And sometimes creating boundaries is healthy, and sometimes those boundaries could cause separation. It can. It's unfortunate, but hear me, see me is kind of where a lot of these younger kids are now these days.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Things are changing with trends in general, but the people who have that, I love it. Let me catch this comment and then we'll move on, you guys. Shetty said, nothing but boys in this house, even the dogs are boys. I know, James, be careful, gonna have a grandbaby that acts just like me. Oh boy, don't know if my son could handle that.
You might enjoy it more than you think to have a grandchild that's just like you, because it may bring you a joy that you may not have ever known you needed. Just saying. So don't rule that out just yet, because I had a girlfriend of mine at work tell me the same thing. Her son just had a girl. That baby came out hollering, screaming, and is sassy, and so is her grandmother, because my coworker is sassy as hell. I'm like, girl, you should have been a comedian and a model the way you be strutting.
She said, that's crazy. I would never talk bad. Well, that is good for you.
That's
See,
good.
everybody, and you
But
keep
you
it
said the key
in
word
your
not in front of
household.
them. She said the key word not in front of them versus at all.
This is true.
Gotta call you out a bit, say, well, I love you. You be calling me out all the time. I had to call you out just right there too.
Now Zane pulls Ashley to the side for some bullshit. He asked her to move back in. And she's like, well, I don't know, and we have to do this and that. Girl, you're going to let this man move back in if you let him come to Cabo. I don't understand that. Now, he says in response, he says, I've been sleeping with my manager in people's houses, hotels, couch surfing. I said, Negro, so you want to come back because you can't afford to get your own place?
And is this manager a man or a woman? Not that it matters.
I'm just curious.
Not that it matters, because a hole is a hole at the end of the day. But is the manager a man or a woman?
Ashley's dumbass forgives him. And she says he could come back. She says that the trip has brought them closer. The drama from the trip has brought them closer. How do you feel about her letting him come back in the house?
Were we surprised?
No.
Did we think she was going to stick to her guns and not do it?
The only thing she stick to is that wig.
Yeah, like, y'all have to understand, Ashley is holding on to Zane. As I told you, I'm going to say this again, louder for the people that are in the back that cannot hear me. Ashley is holding on to Zane because she feels like, especially now that they're on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, that he may pop off again and be the Zane that he was in 1997 to 2001. It's not going to happen, Ashley. He is in his own way. First of all, he needs to clean himself up. That's the first thing he needs to do. He needs to cut that shit off of his head, get clothes that fit, get a dermatologist, and stop being so sassy and messy. And then we can talk about positive growth and affirmation. That's all.
Let me see. Clay said, oh no, never talk bad about the mom or dad in front of the grandkids. They said, we talking, just not in front of them. Y'all are funny. Shetty said he can't afford his own place. And 2 episodes ago, he was telling us he had hundreds of thousands of dollars of jewelry around his neck.
Yeah.
We knew that wasn't. Ray Face called that out.
Amazon jewelry. I got it too, Zane. It's okay.
He got about $145 worth of fake change around his neck, allegedly. This statement is disagreeing. Shetty said, why didn't they have a cake or champagne or bigger celebration for Jack and his wife for their anniversary? Or Jock? Because don't nobody care.
Don't nobody care about no damn Jock and no damn Kendra.
As quiet as it's
I forget they were here.
We laughing. I'm still laughing at their marriage. Like, he don't listen. She settled. I'm cool on Jock and Kendra. They can go. And they're both successful off of Love and Hip Hop, so they don't really need it. But moving forward, everybody at the table moves on to discuss the cast album. And it comes up that Bambi's been kicked off. And Bambi's like, who knew here? Who can confirm it? I don't care, but I want to confirm it. And I'm like, Bambi, I've loved you this season, but girl, you can't say you don't care while bringing something up. That means that you do care because you cared enough to get a comment and see who knew about this. But basically, she says that Spike spoke for everybody, which is why she wanted to know how everybody felt about it. She also points out that the Frost and a couple people at the table go way too hard for Spice when Spice wouldn't go hard for them, which is true. which is true, which is very true. So Jock interrupts all of the foolery, and Jock is like, listen, he got some big name producers that he put together, and he said that he's willing to put together an actual cast album without all the drama, without all the bullshit, where it's more than just the song that everybody is hopping on. That's more of a cipher, not an album, Spice. And I've been said that to y'all. Like, Spice is talented as an artist, but she's not a fucking producer, because a producer understands how to actually put together an album. When you have a bunch of artists on the same beat, that's the cipher. Think of Freshman Class, Double XL. If you from the Bay, think of Thizzler. Like, it's a lot that it could be called, but not an album. So I was glad that Jock offered to put it together and say everyone is welcome. They do some little Aztecan ritual because they are in Mexico. And Rayface ends up providing Bambi with a promise ring. It was nice. So I'm confused. I'm like, are they engaged? But I also a bit stay winning. I like Jock's idea. I do not like Spice. The thing of it is, if you're going to put music together, a lot of these people came on the show because they were known or trying to get known in hip hop. Spice took all the drama and mess that comes with her and turns it into some other shit. Like, this is someone who had a second chance at life and is still more focused on the money than being a quality person. Let these people shine, because a lot of these people, the most that they'll do will be in the form of a cast album. And no, I don't care to comment on Spice and Bambi's little rap beef. I think they're just trying to take advantage of the popularity of rap beefs with what happened with Kendrick and Drake. I don't think it's authentic. And Bambi, you can't rap, girl. Leave Spice alone. But let me catch the comments. Couples trip was crazy. Nobody on the actual couples trip is a good example of a real loving couple. Clocked it, that part. We agree. We thoroughly agree. I did like Spice at first, Shani says, but she's becoming very angry. It seems, especially after that surgery and almost dying. She does seem angrier and meaner, but she's got great success. She has a loyal following. I don't want her on this show anymore, and I want her to hire a better wigologist. James, you have anything to add to the ending of the episode?
No, we can move on. Yeah, there was nothing realistically to add.
There's nothing to move on to, my darling.
To the next show. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. There is something to move on to.
Yeah, there was nothing that really happened this episode. You can tell that we're nearing the end of the season. It looks like there will be another episode next week. So we will be here to recap it. I do appreciate everybody for being here. You guys in the chat are so much fun. Y'all my thugs and my good friends across the country, near and far. We appreciate you guys. Hope you liked the video, and we'll see you for Beverly Hills on our next live. Adios.
Adios.